I'm Valerie here at Arizona Science Center, and today we're talking about water. Our planet is sometimes called the blue planet because from space we see a lot of blue from all of the water. And if you look at our globe, you can see how much is covered in water. However, can we use this water? Unfortunately, most of it is salt water. And because it's salt water, you don't want to drink it or use it for a lot of those daily chores that we need to use it for, like watering plants and washing our dishes, taking a bath, and cooking with. We need clean water. So we need to look at our planet and say, how much of this blue water is clean water that we can use? Fresh water. Well, we could use rainwater, which collects in rivers and streams. And there is some frozen water that is locked up in our ice caps. And we also have water that's in the atmosphere, so it forms clouds, and that's it. That's all we have. And out of all of this blue on the planet, that's a very small percentage, about 3% that's fresh water. So in order to save that water, we need to really think about planning around fresh, clean sources of water. Here in Arizona, this is especially important because we live in a desert state, and we do not have a lot of freshwater resources. The Central Arizona Project, CAP, actually built a giant canal system in Arizona. It's the second largest aqueduct system in the country, and it brings us water in Arizona from the Colorado River. A lot of states actually share the Colorado River, and we are one of them that needs that fresh water every day. So when we go into classrooms in Arizona, we talk to the kids about how do you plan a city around a freshwater resource. If you have an aqueduct that's bringing fresh water into your town, you need to plan your city around it. So we give them a cityscape like this pegboard, and we say, pick a place where the water is. So you might have a lake here where your fresh water is being stored, and now you need to plan your city around it. So think about if you have these orange straws and they represent houses, where are you going to put your houses in this town? You might have a straw represent a whole building, like an apartment building, or maybe they're single houses. You can decide. But also in your town, you're going to want some places to go, right? Maybe you want to go to the movies, and that's going to be our yellow straw, and we're going to want to put some movies or maybe restaurants in our town. We also are going to need some emergency services, so we're going to want to make sure that we have a fire department. We're going to make sure we have a police department. We want to make sure we have also some green in our city because I don't see any trees or parks. So we're going to use our green to represent some trees, maybe some nice parks that are around our town. And as we're planning these out, you could do the same thing at home and plan a city. You could use colored Legos. You could just draw your city. But as you're planning your city out, you might start to think, wow, I have all of these trees and green areas. They're going to need water. All of these houses, they need water. Do you think the movie theater needs water? Yeah. Do you think a restaurant needs water? Yeah. Our police department, our fire department, all of these places that we put on here, they need water. So now we need to get the water from our lake into our town. And if we use our blue straws, we could create a path for our water. But what we're going to need is some kind of pipe system to have it flow through our city. And that's where we could use some rubber bands to show how our water is moving from place to place and through our city. So when we have civil engineers that are planning cities, it probably is a better idea to think about this water placement before you start building your city instead of after, because it's kind of hard to get my water everywhere. Now that I know that it has to get from one place to another, it would have been easier to do that planning at the beginning. So civil engineers have to definitely think about how are we going to get water to all these places when we're building our cities. It's something in Arizona we have to think really carefully about. Now, if you don't have a clean water source, something else that you could think about is water filtration. How could I clean dirty water in an emergency that I need? So this is something you might want to try at home. All you need is a water bottle or an empty soda bottle if you have one. This is a big 2-liter one that we cut the top off of, or you could use a small single-use individual water bottle. And if you cut the top off, you can experiment with some things you have at home to say, how could I make a water filtration system using what I have? So some things I have here, I have coffee filters, I have some cheesecloth, I have a nylon, some tissue paper, some rubber bands, maybe you might have some gravel from your aquarium at home, and I have even like some decorative sand here. So we might want to decide what could filter dirt out of our water. And I think I'm just going to try some cheesecloth maybe here at the bottom. And this is what my rubber band is going to do. It's going to help me right here. But maybe I'll also put a coffee filter kind of inside. And I happen to know that rocks kind of filter out in rivers and things. Water goes through, so I think I'll put some rocks in there and maybe a little sand. So we're going to place this on top of our bottle. And I'm going to have you take a look at this dirty water I got out of our local river. And I'm going to pour it in and see how my filter does. So you could try this at home with literally anything that you have. See if when you pour things into your filter, if the water that comes out looks cleaner. So that's our job, is to get the water coming out to look cleaner. So if my rocks and my coffee filter and my cheesecloth are taking everything out, it looks like it is cleaner than it started, which was much dirtier, much browner. All right, so my water's coming out cleaner, but I might want to re-engineer this and try it again because it's not totally clear. I might want to try a different filter. And I want to remind you that even though we've taken all the dirt and sediment out, it's still not safe to drink, because even after we filtered the water, we have to purify it. We have to disinfect it and get all kinds of bacteria out. So even after we clean this water, we have to go through a whole nother process. Water is such a precious resource. Our fresh water is such a precious resource. We have to really think about its use and conserve it as much as possible. Thanks for joining me today to talk about clean water. You can always visit azscience.org for other videos and activities and things to do at home. And we hope you join us on our social media, including Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Have a good day, everyone.